Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Donation. This is season 3, guys. We are in our 3rd season, so welcome back. I am your host, Olivia Fox, and this is an interactive show where you, the viewers, can call in and ask any questions that you might have about the topic of organ and tissue donation in our community. This is a hotline show, so you'd call in and dial the number right at the bottom of your screen. It's 312-738-1060. I know a lot of you guys have been hearing the commercials and we're like, talk donation. What type of donation? Donation to charity? Donation to education? What is it that we're talking about? In actuality, it's a little bit of both. It is education about organ and tissue donation, as well as charity to your fellow man. Each week, we will have special guests and we will have conversations, spending time talking about the importance of organ and tissue donation, especially in minority communities, and all the facts that we need to know about participating in this process. Ultimately, our sole purpose is to give you enough information to dispel the long-standing myths and misconceptions that run very deep throughout our communities regarding the healthcare industry in general, not just organ and tissue donation. We recognize that minorities have fears of healthcare entities, and let's face it, many of them are very well found. However, over the last 30 years, with advances in modern medicine, amazing transplant physicians, our hospital partners, religious community partners, Gift of Hope has really helped turn tragedy to triumph through organ and tissue donation, and really helping people leave a legacy and helping people carry out that final wish of leaving a gift through organ and tissue donation. So welcome to our show. That is a lot, but that's a little taste of what we're going to be talking about this season and what's our purpose for being here every week. So we're so excited to have you, and we'll be back right after our regularly scheduled commercial break.
Nikki's donations made a huge impact on a lot of people. This one right here, sitting next to me especially. When Gift of Hope came to me and asked me for the donation, it made me feel very confident knowing that I can give my baby's heart. This is Nikki's heart beating inside Tanisha's chest.
So when I heard this pounding, like, what is that noise? And the nurse said to me, that's your heart.
I carried Nikki for 9 months. Now Tanisha's gonna carry her the rest of her life.
Say yes to donation. Start the conversation with your loved ones today. So welcome back. That is our regularly scheduled commercial break featuring 2 of our ambassadors telling their personal stories of organ and tissue donation and how their families were affected. So welcome back. This week, well, in the intro I said we're going to have guests each week, but this week we're going to kind of do a little review, a little recap about who Gift of Hope is in the community, what we are responsible for, and what we do, and how you might encounter us either in the community or in a hospital setting. So this is going to be a little bit of me talking. We'll have some videos mixed in there. Feel free to call in with your questions throughout the evening, but just want to give everybody a little bit of background so that we can know exactly what it is that we're talking about. So Gift of Hope is what you call an organ procurement organization, an OPO. If you ever hear me say OPO, that's the type of organization we are. We are a federally mandated, federally regulated, nonprofit organization that is responsible for coordinating life-saving and life-enhancing organ and tissue donation in our service area. Gift of Hope service area includes the top 3/4 of Illinois, so that's about Springfield up, and over into Northwest Indiana. So within that service area, we serve 180 hospitals and 9 transplant centers. The transplant centers are where the transplants actually take place. So there are 9 of those in our service area. Gift of Hope is one of 58 OPOs, organ procurement organizations, within this country. They are spread out throughout the country. Basically, some of the larger states have several OPOs, and there is another OPO, in our state that deals with the bottom half. So that's kind of how that works. It makes sense because all of this is time-sensitive procedures that are happening, so it makes sense for things to be regionally delegated. So we are the one for the OPO for Illinois and Northwest Indiana. Being the OPO for Illinois and Northwest Indiana, we are responsible for 3 things in our service area. Those 3 things are: 1, coordinating organ and tissue donation with our 180 hospitals in our service area; 2, providing public and professional education about the topic of organ and tissue donation within the community, and then also with our hospital partners that are mandated to work with us. And then 3rd, supporting donor families. So after someone has gone on to become a donor, we help families continue to honor their loved one's gift by being able to connect with the recipients of their loved one's gifts, and then also facilitating several donor family memorials annually so that families can gather and help honor their loved one each year. Also gathering with other people that have been through similar situations and their loved ones have gone on to be the same type of hero and leave the same type of legacy as their loved ones. So it forms a donor family community. So those are the 3 things that Gift of Hope is responsible for, being the OPO for Illinois and Northwest Indiana. Again, there are 58 in the country, and we're responsible for Illinois and Northwest Indiana. So that's a little bit about Gift of Hope. Where do I fall in that? Well, here, we'll pause before we talk about where I fall in that equation, because it looks like we have a caller. Hey, caller, you are the first caller of season 3. What is your name and what's your question? Thanks for calling in.
A regular viewer, I should say, and I'm so happy to see that you guys are back.
Viewer, can you start that over again? I'm sorry, we missed the first part of your comment.
I said I'm a regular viewer, and I'm so happy that you're back.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for being a regular viewer. We appreciate you engaging with us.
So I just wanted to say that I've seen Gift of Hope all throughout the community at just about every outdoor festival that I've been to in the spring and the summertime here in Chicago.
Oh,
so
wow.
It seems that you guys have really invested in the community and are showing that you are really a valued community partner. And I'm just wondering if you're seeing a difference in the numbers with regard to people saying yes to donations.
That is so awesome, caller. Thank you for being a loyal viewer and for engaging with us. And thank you so much for your comment and question. I would love to address both of those things. So, yes, we have been everywhere in the community, and we will continue to be everywhere in the community. That is kind of a perfect segue into what we're getting ready to talk about, because one of our missions is to spread awareness about organ and tissue donation. And we find that conversation needs to happen before we encounter this conversation in a hospital setting. This needs to happen in the communities. People need to know about this topic and know what type of decision they're asked to make when they go to the DMV, and be able to have this conversation with their loved ones and be able to speak intelligently about what their wishes are. So we find it at Gift of Hope, we find it very, very important to become a part of good things going on in the community. So people aren't just encountering us when they are talking about donation, but they do see us out at those festivals supporting the community and educating the community about the topic of organ and tissue donation. We have people that come out. We have a great group of ambassadors that are donor families and recipients that are willing to come out and tell their stories and engage with people and have conversations with people. It doesn't, necessarily every time have to be a long conversation. Sometimes it's just a quick, please register to be a donor. And sometimes it is those deeper conversations that we are able to have. So we really have found that participating in these summer activities, festivals, and health fairs, and we were at countless amounts of back to school giveaways. They were so fun. I am all jumpy housed out. But we find that it is really good to be in those spaces and educate those people, meet people where they're at, and really bring up this conversation that is important for them to be having in their homes and with their families. And so with that, we definitely at Gift of Hope have seen an increase in awareness about organ and tissue donation. So there is another role at Gift of Hope, and that is the people that go in and speak with families about donation. And I talk with, in the hospital setting, I should say. And I talk with several of the people that do that job, and they have said to us that they really notice that people are more aware about donation before they end up in this hospital setting. So people come in with some sort of prior knowledge about the importance of organ and tissue donation, or some type of awareness about who Gift of Hope is. It isn't the first time that they're hearing our name and what it is that we're responsible for. So that has been really fulfilling and makes us want to push even more in the community, and to grind even more in the community, and to continue to be everywhere so that we can educate anybody who will listen about this topic of organ and tissue donation, because that's the main thing. We want people to know facts about this process so that you can make your own decision when you go into the DMV and the clerk asks you, would you like to be an organ donor or not? We are responsible for providing you with that information and making sure that that saturates our service area, and making sure everybody knows what type of decision they're making, because we have found that when people know the facts about donation, when people know about the facts even more specifically about donation in their communities, so that's what we were talking earlier about minority communities, people are more likely to help. If you know that people that look like you are in need and are positively affected by this process, you are more likely to participate. So that is our goal of having our ambassadors program and being a part of the community and being a part of good things in the community, is to really reach those people so that there is some awareness about Gift of Hope and about donation, organ and tissue donation, before one experiences it in a more of a tragic, devastating setting. That also reminds me that one thing I love to tell the community is that it's important for you to register your own wishes, whether you want to be an organ donor or not. It is important for you to say yes when you go to the DMV, because that is a gift that you are leaving your family. We plan for everything in life except the one thing that is promised to us. I know what I'm doing next week. I know what I'm doing, for the holidays with my family. I have plans for all of that. And I'm sure most of us do. But the thing is, we don't plan for the one thing that is promised to happen to all of us at some point, and that is death. And we need to make sure that our affairs are in order, and we need to make sure that our loved ones know what our wishes are to be done with our body and our things once we are done. And so that's why I am signed up on my driver's license. I wish I would have brought my driver's license up here with me, but it is a little Illinois symbol in the on the front corner of your license. It used to be on the back in the day, and sometimes people still think we sign the back of our license, but in fact it is a little red Illinois symbol on the front of your license, on the right hand side of your driver's license. You can also put that on your state ID if you do not have a driver's license. So anybody over the age of 16 in Illinois can now make their wish known to be an organ donor, 16 and up. So looks like we're kind of running short on time here, so I really wanted to show you guys a short video that I have about how donation works, and really understanding. People don't understand the process. That's one of the big reasons why people might be afraid of organ and tissue donation, or might not say yes, because they don't really understand the process. And once you fully understand the process, you understand that this is something that is life-saving. It is a way to leave a legacy on this earth once whatever higher power you believe in has chosen that it's your time to move on. And so this video does a really nice job of explaining, and I'm sure you might want a little break from my voice. So let's break it up with a little video about donation.
Every year, many thousands of people receive the gift of life, a life-saving transplant of a heart, kidney, liver, lungs, pancreas, or intestines. And thousands more people receive corneas and other tissues that restore sight and health. Transplantation is one of the great medical advances of our time. How does it work? It all starts when someone's organ begins to fail, and that person will need a transplant to survive. A thorough evaluation is conducted at a transplant center, and if the person's a good candidate for a transplant, he or she will be put on the National Transplant Waiting List. Once a person is on the list, the wait for an organ begins. A national system matches people on the waiting list with donors. The factors considered in matching donors and recipients include blood type and body size, how sick the patient is, distance from the donor, tissue type, and length of time on the waiting list. What doesn't get taken into account? Organs are never matched based on race or gender. Income, celebrity, and social status are also never considered in matching donor organs to waiting patients. There's no telling how long the wait will take. In fact, some people don't receive an organ in time because the waiting list is very long and there aren't enough donors available. That's why an average of 18 people on the waiting list die each day. Imagine how many we could save if we all were donors. Most organs for transplants come from deceased donors. Here's how that happens. A person comes to the hospital with a life-threatening brain injury, such as from an accident, a stroke, or lack of oxygen. The doctors work hard to save the patient's life, but sometimes nothing can be done. There's a complete, irreversible loss of brain function. The patient is clinically and legally dead. That's when being a donor can turn a time of loss into a time of hope. Because machines have kept blood containing oxygen flowing to the organs, they can be passed along. One person can give life to as many as 8 people through organ donation and enhance the lives of 50 people or more through eye and tissue donation. But now, minutes matter. Matches must be found, and transplants must happen quickly. The hospital contacts an organ procurement organization, an OPO. OPOs manage the organ recovery process. The OPO checks the state organ donor registry. If the person is already registered as a donor, they'll inform the family. If not, they'll ask the family to authorize donation. A medical examination takes place. They check the medical and social history, and if the person is eligible to be an organ donor, the computer begins the search on the national waiting list for well-matched patients. The best matched patients for each organ are contacted by their transplant teams. This is the call that every single person on the waiting list has been hoping for. The call that could mean a second chance at life. Now the transplant happens. A surgical team recovers the organs, then corneas and other tissues. The organs are sent to the transplant hospitals where the patients and transplant teams are waiting, and the life-saving transplants take place. It will take healthy living and medications to keep the organ working well in its new home. But some wonderful person has given the most precious gift of all, the gift of life. You too can make the decision today to sign up on your state registry as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Any age is the right age, young or old. And any day is the right day to sign up as a donor. You can register through your driver's license office, or you can sign up right now, online. Remember to tell your family so they can support your wishes. More than 100 million people have already signed up, but we're all needed to save more lives. Go to organdonor.gov and sign up in your state donor registry as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov and share the gift of life.
Welcome back. So I hope that video helped everyone understand a little bit more about what we're talking about with this organ and tissue donation, how this process works, when you even encounter this conversation. So I'm so excited for this entire season of Let's Talk Donation with Gift of Hope. We're going to be having some really awesome guests coming in this season. I'm really excited about some of the people that we have. Some people I've been trying to get on for 3 seasons. So I'm so excited that we have some of them booked to come in this season. And so just my reminder each week to you will be to have the conversation with your loved ones today. Even if you don't sign up on your driver's license, which that is my true wish, is that everyone would just register themselves to be an organ donor. Say yes when you go to the DMV. But if for some reason you don't, have this conversation with your loved ones. If you don't know what your mother, your daughter, your father, your grandmother, if you don't know what the wishes are of your family and your loved ones, ask them tonight at dinner. I know a lot of people are getting ready to sit down for dinner in the next couple of minutes. So ask your loved ones what it is that their wishes are. Do you want to be an organ donor? This is a way for you to leave a legacy and save a life. This is a way for you to be the reason why another person is living. Again, there's one thing that is promised to all of us, and that is one day our time here on this earth will end. And if you do have anything that's viable to be used, Gift of Hope will help you carry out your wish of using these things for life-saving and life-enhancing purposes. So have the conversation with your loved ones today. If you would like Gift of Hope to come out and educate your school, your faith community, your club, your organization, whatever the case may be, please give us a call. You can reach us. I'm going to put my information up here actually. You can reach us at ofox@giftofhope.org. That is my email address. Or you can check out our website if you want to become a volunteer. We call that our ambassadors program, and we have a tab on our website, giftofhope.org, where you can go right on there and click the volunteer link, click the get involved link, click the volunteer application, and you can fill out how you would like to get involved, how you would like to be contacted, and we will get you involved with some of the awesome opportunities that we have going on. As our caller mentioned, we are everywhere in the community. There is no group that is too large or too small for us to speak to or reach out to. There is no age limit or age minimum of people who we want to speak to or educate about this topic, because this is a topic that no matter what age you are, no matter what your health status, you should make this wish known. This is something, there is no testing that goes on before you can sign up. There is no, there's nothing like that. This is simply, yes, I want to leave a legacy. Yes, I want to help save a life. You just sign up when you go to the DMV. It's that easy. So I hope that if you learned anything this evening, it's that organ and tissue donation is very, very important in our community. I will leave you guys with one fact. Currently in Illinois, there are over 4,600 people waiting for a life-saving organ. And over 45% of those people are minority community members. So it is important for me to educate my own community and the community that we live in about this topic, because if it has not affected you or one of your loved ones yet, it will, either as a donor family or being someone in need. So please, I beg you all to consider the organ and tissue donation. Consider saying yes. Consider having this conversation with your loved ones today. Consider saying yes when you go back to the DMV to renew your license and they ask you, do you want to be an organ donor or not? Think about this conversation that we had. Think about those 4,600 people, 4,600 of your neighbors that are currently waiting for a life-saving and life-enhancing organ transplant. So again, this is Let's Talk Donation with Gift of Hope. We're so excited for season 3, and we hope that you guys will join us back next week, next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. for more talk about organ and tissue donation in our community. I am your host, Olivia Fox, and we'll talk more next week. Have a good one, everyone.